The world admires brilliant thinkers, but those minds often stand alone. Da Vinci was called strange. Newton isolated himself for years. Tesla died alone in a hotel room. Even today, many of the world's smartest people seem to care so little for social life. But why? Arthur Schopenhauer, a German philosopher of the 19th century, worked on the burden of thinking and the privilege of isolation. Great men are like eagles and build their nests on some lofty solitude. To him, solitude wasn't loneliness, but the price of deep thinking. The more a person thinks, the harder it becomes to relate to the world around them. Schopenhauer believed that deep thinkers experience life differently. They see patterns, contradictions, and truths that others overlook. They often grow so involved into thoughts that it becomes excessive. Thales of Miletus, a Greek philosopher, is said to have fallen into a well while gazing at the stars. Their thoughts dominate every aspect of life in a way that it often isolates them. Conversations that others find enjoyable start to feel shallow, and social norms might seem unnecessary, and so the gap grows. A study published in the British Journal of Psychology found that highly intelligent individuals reported lower life satisfaction when socialising frequently. When smart people spend more time with their friends, it makes them less happy. The more brilliant someone becomes, the harder it is for them to connect with others. Their thoughts and ideas become so unique that they struggle to find people who can truly relate. This is why some of the most gifted individuals, whether in science, art or philosophy, end up feeling isolated, not by choice, but by circumstance. Albert Einstein once said, "My passionate sense of social justice and responsibility has always contrasted oddly with my pronounced lack of need for direct contact with other human beings." But it's not only that social life bores them, it's often more that their work demands solitude. For brilliant minds, the most profound work requires uninterrupted focus. Nikola Tesla's inventions and ideas, from alternating current to the Tesla coil, were the result of hours spent alone in his lab. He often went without sleep, immersing himself in his work so deeply that he would forget to eat. He even openly believed that solitude was key to success. Be alone, that is the secret of invention. Be alone, that is when ideas are born. His obsession with innovation left little room for socializing, and same could be said for others like him. René Descartes, the father of modern philosophy, spent countless hours in quiet reflection. Isolation was the main foundation of his famous declaration, cogito ergo sum, or I think therefore I am. This disconnect isn't just philosophical too, there's a biological reason for it. As the brain becomes more engaged with complex thought, it builds stronger neural connections in regions responsible for abstract thinking, problem solving and creativity. But these neural pathways don't always support the social aspects of life. Research suggests that the more someone focuses on complex ideas, the more their brain becomes disconnected from social wiring, making simple interactions feel taxing or unnecessary. For many brilliant minds, social interactions themselves become a whole of overthinking. Every word and every gesture is analysed over and over. A smile might seem like a sign of approval to most, but for a deep thinker it might provoke questions like, what does that smile really mean? And are they being genuine? This constant overthinking drains their energy and further pushes them into solitude. It's not that they dislike people or don't want to connect, it's that every social interaction feels like an exhausting mental puzzle. They might overanalyze others' reactions, wondering if something they said was misunderstood or if their body language gave the wrong impression. This hyper-awareness makes everyday socializing feel like a mental workout. The brain, which is wired to analyze the world, does the same with the smallest of social exchanges, making it harder to relax and enjoy the moment. This disconnect doesn't mean these exceptional minds are immune to the desire for companionship. In fact, it's quite the opposite. They may not seek large groups or shallow conversations, but they still crave meaningful connection. However, their need isn't for many friends, but for one person who truly understands them, valuing quality over quantity. Albert Einstein, despite his often solitary nature, found comfort in a few close relationships with people who could match his intellectual curiosity. His lifelong friendship with Max Born, a fellow physicist, is a perfect example. Their conversations weren't about the mundane aspects of life. They were about the nature of the universe, about the mysteries that both sought to unravel. It was this kind of deep, intellectual connection that Einstein valued the most. Vincent van Gogh, better known for his oil paintings, is another case to look at. Despite his troubled life and ultimate isolation, Van Gogh found a deep connection with his brother, Theo. Their letters back and forth were filled with profound insights on art, life, and the struggles Vincent faced in his creative journey. In these letters, you can see how much Van Gogh longed for someone who could understand not just his artistic vision, but his inner world as well. This need for understanding isn't just reserved for the historical greats. In our own lives, many of us find that while we may enjoy the company of others, there's something prettier about having one friend who truly gets us. Someone who shares our passions, our struggles, or just our way of thinking. These connections help us feel seen in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelming or isolating. Truth is, you don't have to be a genius to feel shoved into solitude. If you've ever found yourself questioning life, reality, the world around you, you've probably felt that same isolation, because not everyone around you will understand that constant curiosity, that crave for deeper answers. The important thing is not to stop questioning. It's a reminder that seeking truth can set us apart. And while that might feel lonely at times, it's also what drives us to grow, to connect with others who think like us, who feel like us, because even in solitude, we're never truly alone.